Thank you, Chaplain. And I think we all owe the Chaplain a deep gratitude because he ordered the weather for today. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to introduce to you the Post Commander, Commander Dean Snyder.
Good afternoon. It gives me great pride and pleasure to welcome you all here today for this dedication ceremony and tribute to Sergeant Bryan Tutten. I would like to express a special and warm welcome to the families of Bryan Tutten, his wife Constantina, and his mother Sylvia. And I would also like to acknowledge some of our special guests who are with us today. United States Congressman John Mica, Florida Congressman Bill Proctor, Jennifer Ridgely from the office of Senator Mel Martinez, Florida Veterans of Foreign Wars Commander Dave Harris, Colonel Lisa Craig, Florida National Guard, St. Johns County Commissioners Stevenson, Sanchez, and Rich, County Commissioner-elect Mark Miner, St. Johns County Sheriff David Shore, Colonel Ron Rafford, Military Officers Association, and the members of the U.S. Army 82nd Airborne Division from Fort Bragg, South Carolina. At this time, I would like to introduce the President of our Ladies Auxiliary, Mrs. Monica Weeks.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to present to Sylvia and Constantina a lifetime membership in the VFW Ladies Auxiliary. The VFW Ladies Auxiliary supports all our veterans, and we wish to let every woman who has stand beside her man and seen them go to war, every mother who has sacrificed and seen her child go to war, that we are with you and we will always work for your rights. I thank everyone for coming, and at this time, Glenn, would you please? Thank you very much, and God bless the whole family and all the family of the veterans who are overseas today. God bless America, and I hope everyone prays that all our men come back soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monica. Our next speaker is a 22-year veteran of the United States Army. He has served 2 tours of duty in Iraq, and his current assignment is First Sergeant of A Troop, 1st of the 73rd Cavalry, 2nd Brigade, 82nd Airborne Division. First Sergeant Robert Ochsner.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm very honored to be here today, and what I think by dedicating and naming this VFW for Sergeant Tutten is just a great thing, and a great way to celebrate Bryan. But like a lot of buildings you see that are dedicated and named to people, sometimes you know the name, but you don't know the man. So as Bryan's first sergeant, I knew him for about a little over 2 years. I'd like to tell you about what kind of sergeant he was. When I first took over the troop, he was the armorer, and he was new to being an armorer, and he had a lot of new equipment. He was an infantryman by trade, and I came in a lot. I came in the mornings, and he'd still be there working from the night before. A lot of times I'd see nothing but a pot of coffee and a sleeping bag pushed over to the side. And that's how dedicated he was to his job, to make sure he did it right. As things moved on, he ended up being an integral part of my headquarters element. Anytime I needed something done, I could count on Sergeant Tutten to get it done right, with not a whole lot of guidance and not a whole lot of oversight. He would just execute And I'd come back and say, "Top, I got it," and it'd be done. When we deployed, I had one platoon that was short an NCO, and I knew exactly where to go to get that NCO. Put Sergeant Tutten over in 3rd Platoon, where soon he just fit right in, and he did well, and he was leading his soldiers. One story that just totally captured the kind of sergeant he was and the kind of leader he was is one night we were out in Iraq, and his platoon had been in contact already that night. They just started moving into thick vegetation, and the point man stopped. It was Staff Sergeant Lackenmeyer, and couldn't see anything. There, vegetation right up in front of his face, and he started getting a little nervous. And all of a sudden, he felt his hand on his back, and it was Sergeant Tutten, and he said, "Hey man, I got your back." And right after that, everything was gold. He was good. Then I had another platoon, got a little short NCOs, and they needed some bolstering. I knew exactly where to go, set go again, and I put him over in 1st Platoon. And there, he did outstanding. He's a great soldier, dependable, hardworking, and the example of what we expect our American warriors to be. Thank you.
Thank you, First Sergeant Oxner. Our guest speaker today is a man who has spent his entire adult life serving his country, his community, and veterans of our state and nation. He is the commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars for the state of Florida, Mr. Commander Dave Harris.
That was a country and western song. So it's not what you leave, it's not what you carry, but it's what you leave behind. And looking at the community, we are looking at someone who really achieved the goal that they wanted. We always wondered who we meet and where we meet them at, how much we have in common. I would like to say that the few minutes that I've talked with the members of this post, it's no doubt that I knew Sergeant Tutten. We had a few things in common. One of the first things was that he was a member of the 82nd Airborne, but he was cavalry. And we always like to say that we are the chosen few. We are one of the oldest organizations in the Army as the United States Cavalry. We have a tradition. We have rendered with destiny our strength of courage strike the spot that will always make men's free. We are sought right down from the skies of blue and on the ground. Keep your eye on your job to be done. We are the soldiers of the cavalry. We will fight till the battle is won. And that's what we see with Sergeant Tutten. He was in the 73rd Cavalry. I was in the 7th and the 17th Cavalry. I know the times have changed, but the execution and handling your ability and also your responsibility has not changed. As I talked with his comrades, I see that he was well respected. And that's part of not leaving, but gaining everything that you possibly can. It gives me great pleasure on the behalf of the state of Florida, Veterans of Foreign Wars, to be here today to thank the commander and all the members for such a great thing that this force has done. We are the Veterans of Foreign Wars recognize all of our comrades. And when someone drives down that street, US 1, for the next 100 years, they will see what a great comrade who put his life on the line for this country so that we will always be free. Another thing that we have in common, and all of us have in common, is the fight that we took taking an oath before God for country and family. We ask God to give us the strength to complete our mission so that our country shall always remain free and our family is safe and sound in God's hands. This is a song that we had. First to fight for the right and to build a nation's might. And the cavalry go marching on. Proud of all we have done, fight to the battle is won. And the cavalry go marching on. Count off your cadence, loud and strong. For where we go, you will always know that the cavalry go rolling on. I would like to thank once again the commander and Glenn for their communications. And may the good Lord take a liking to us and all of us travel at God's speed. Thank you.